To be able to manifest, you have to first master the law of detachment. Why? Because when you cling on too tightly or you want something so bad, you're creating tension, you're creating resistance, and that will only just push it further away from you. You need to actually just fully let go. You need to also learn the law of assumption because they actually go hand in hand. Law of assumption is knowing and assuming that everything will turn out to be the way that you want it to be. You just assume that things are going to work out and it's all going to play out perfectly, just like you want it to. By living in that faith and also detaching and not creating any resistance, that is the master formula to be able to manifest so quickly and so effortlessly. It's about being able to accept the moment, live in it as it is, and know that good things are coming your way without being so fearful or holding on too tight, because that will only have the opposite effect. For example, I have recently let go of a big aspect that I was clinging on to for like the last year. And I was clinging on to it, and it was creating so much stress, so much resistance in my life, so much anxiety. And I realized, I'm like, why am I doing this to myself? Like, why am I living in a state of fear, anxiety, and panic? So I actually just let go. I fully believed, I fully put my faith and trust in God and the universe, and I let go. I let go of trying to control the events, trying to be in control, trying to have it only a certain way, because that's not what life is. You have to surrender, you have to trust, and you have to let go. Let go and let God. That is such a powerful statement. You can't be trying to control everything and have it in a certain way. You have to go and flow with life. You have to flow. You have to be like water. We as humans don't know what's in our best interest. We think that we know, but in the long run, we don't know. We have such a limited vision, such a limited capacity that we always don't have the bigger picture in mind. For example, have you ever been in a circumstance or situation in your life when at that moment you thought your world was ending, like it was painful, it was hurtful, it was teaching you so many, or you're experiencing so much pain, so much grief, so much loss. But then maybe a few years down the line, you look back and you remember that memory and you're like, oh my God, now I understand and see why that had to happen, what that taught me, why it needed to happen that way so I can do that, so I can become this, so I can improve on this. Steve Jobs said it, you can't connect the dots looking forward, you can only connect them looking backwards. So when you look back in your life, you will understand why certain things had to happen, why you had to lose some opportunities, why you had to go through grief and pain, because it's all connected. Other things were waiting for you in life that first you had to go through that to be able to access like the level 2, or to be awarded with another better opportunity. For example, if you got fired or let go, and then a few weeks later you get presented with a new job offer, or you break up with your partner, and then down the line you meet your actual soulmate, your life partner that you spend the rest of your life with, etc. Or some things that happened and you learned valuable life lessons and wisdom that you carry through with you to life. So you have to trust that everything is working out and everything is okay, and whatever happens and needs to happen, let it happen. Just don't create resistance. Resistance will not get you anywhere. It'll actually do the opposite. It will actually repel what you're trying to call in. The sun's kind of like in my eye, so I'm trying to see where I can. Anyways, also I want to bring up another topic. For the law of assumption, this is where you have to just, as Neville Goddard said, live in the end. If you don't know him, I highly recommend you search him up. That man was a genius way beyond his time. I love his teachings, love his reading, but he said to live in the end state. What does that mean? So if you have a goal, if you have a desire, whatever it is that you're trying to call in or manifest, I want you to live act, breathe, think, feel as if it has already been granted to you. It's already on its way to you. You know for a fact that it's coming your way. First of all, you're going to feel great, and who doesn't want to feel great? Second of all, you being in alignment with that vibrational frequency will match you to that reality, which will inevitably pull it towards you because you are already vibrating in that frequency, in that reality. And that is how you quantum leap. That's how you quantum jump. To get from one version of you to another version of you, you have to pretend that you're already there. You have to think, act, speak, and look like you're already in that reality. For example, you're trying to call in money. You cannot be dwelling on the fact that you don't have enough money. You are stressing about bills, stressing about finances. No, that will just keep you stuck into that reality because that's the energy frequency that you're carrying. Your thoughts, your thinking pattern, you're always worrying, you're always stressing. You're like, oh my God, I'm not going to make it. There's so much to do, bills, blah, blah, blah. See how you're going to stay into that lower frequency? Whereas if you say, I trust in the Lord and in God and in universe that I will be taken care of, and just rest in that knowing and trust and believe and have faith, you will ultimately raise your vibration to a version of you that is already financially abundant, already financially secure. Because guess what? The version of you that's rich and wealthy and abundant, that's how they would feel. They never feel lack. They feel grateful. They feel abundant. And that's how you have to match their level of thinking. That's how you can match their reality. It's literally all about just shifting realities. You don't have to become someone new. You just have to become a different version of you. There are multiple versions of you existing all here in the now. That's literally what quantum physics is teaching us, that in the atom, the particle can be at any place at any given time, but when you observe it at a specific location, it appears right there. So what I'm trying to say is that all versions of you are existing. If you want to tap to a certain specific version of you, you have to align with what that version would look like. For example, you want to achieve health. You want to become a healthy individual. You want to become the version of you that is healthy, that is disease-free, that is having amazing physical health, mental health. How do you go about this? You think in your mind, you're like, okay, what would my future healthy self be? What would they do? They would probably eat clean. They would probably make healthy choices. They would substitute to less sugar, less carbs, more protein, more lean. They would work out. They would wear a workout set to get them motivated. They would probably be doing some type of activity, whether that's a morning walk or a daily walk, or they're signed up in a gym or Pilates, whatever it is. But you have to embody that version of you that already has what you want to call in. Does that kind of make sense? So you can't expect to become healthy and keep eating fast food. No, you have to pretend to get into the frame of mind of the version of you that already is living the reality that you want, that you're trying to call in. So if in terms of health, you would be like, so my healthy version of me probably, like I said, substitutes for healthier eating, maybe meal preps, works out, goes on a daily walks, and then you have to carry out that action. So you have to actually do those things. Start eating healthier, start going to the gym, start being more disciplined with your diet, with your fitness. And surely, sooner than later, you will become the healthy version of yourself in just a matter of time. And the more that you can embody that characteristic, the sooner you can collapse that time frame. So if you become like really strict for like, let's say a month or 2 months, and really get into the frame of mind of your healthy self, that's when you'll see people lose and shed off weight like 20 pounds, 30 pounds, 40 pounds, because they are concentrating, they are focusing. And where you focus, energy goes, okay? So that's how you do it. Whereas if you're not as disciplined and you just like, you don't take it as seriously and you don't be as strict with your regimen or with your diet or with your schedule, then it might take you longer. It might take you a few months, 6 months, a year. So it all depends on how much you can embody the version of you that already has the desire that you're trying to call in. It's literally that simple, but society doesn't teach it because they don't want you to know how easy it is to bend reality, to tap into another reality, to become a different version of you. There are so many versions of you, and it all depends on you. What are you thinking? What are you saying? What are you choosing? And what are your actions? Literally, if you change those things, you can change your life. You can't expect life to change without you first changing. It has to come within. You have to initiate it. If you can change your thoughts, your words, and your actions, just these 3 things, you will inevitably change your life. If you want to change your personal reality, you have to first change your personality. You have to adopt a different personality. If you're trying to be healthy, you have to embody the personality of a healthy, fit person. Maybe they wake up early. Maybe they go for a run. They go for a workout class. They have a gym membership, Pilates, yoga, whatever it is. They meal prep, or they have a subscription that sends them food, or they just, opt out for healthier foods, healthier choices, less fat, less sugar. Anyways, you get it. Like, you just have to literally just embody. That's all it is. So master those 2 things. Law of detachment, law of assumption, and which is also living in the end state and embodying and being the version of you that you want to be. Inevitably, you will become that version because you are already you are doing everything that version would do. So it's just a matter of time until the physical world will catch up. Remember, the physical world is delayed, so it takes longer. The 3D world takes longer to manifest than in your thoughts. And right now, your life, I want you to take a second and think about this. Your life right now is a result of what you've been manifesting for, let's say, the last 3 to 6 months. If you just think about it, right now your circumstances is what you've been dwelling upon and focusing upon for the last 3 to 6 months. So again, it'll take some time, but if the more focused you can to actually get a laser pointed, that will close that gap and close the distance to the desired reality that you want. For example, if you put, let's say ice cream in the sun, it will melt slowly, right? But if you take a magnifying glass and you put that under the sun and onto that ice cream, it's going to start melting so fast, right? Because all of the energy of the sun is focused through that magnifying glass into an exact specific point, and that creates magnitude of results. Just like if you were to focus on one aspect of yourself, whether it be health, relationship, career, finances, whatever. The beauty of this is that it applies to all genres of life, across all areas of life. So it's literally just about what do you want, and then focus on how you can get what you want by becoming the version of you that already has what you want. So just get in the frame of mind, be like, okay, for example, if you want to be a business owner or a millionaire, you would think to yourself, how would the version of me that's a millionaire be operating from? Would they be making unhealthy choices? No. Would they be disciplined? Yes. Would they be, nonchalant? No. Would they be laser focused and have goals and actionable steps and, things to move them forward? Yes. That's how it works. It's literally so simple, but we just get overstimulated and think things are out of reach or impossible. No, everything is possible. Some things might take a little longer because there's such a big gap from where you are right now and where you're trying to get to, but it doesn't mean that you can't get there. You can do whatever you want. This life, you can literally create anything. We have the ability to create. God gifted us the ability to create, just like he has that ability to create. Just like he created the earth, he created the heavens, he also gifted us with that power to create. That's why creators are usually so abundant, so wealthy, because they are living in God's gift. And it's so easy to create. There's so many ways that you can create, literally. So I'm going to end this message here. I hope this was valuable. If you're new here, my name is Yasmin. If you're returning, welcome back. I'm the founder of Queen Power Academy, where I uplift and empower women, and I remind you who the F you are, and I remind you of the powers that you have within. Because if you can rule your mind, you can reign your life, okay? Check out my course. I'm going to link it in the Stansor link below if you want to transform your life and transform your identity into a better version of you. I have a 30-day course. It's phenomenal. We go through so many life-changing things. If you want to learn more about it, read the description of it. But for now, I hope this resonated with you. If it did, remember, subscribe, like, leave a comment. I love to read your comments, and I'll see you next time. Love and blessings. Take care.